Greetings and welcome back, carnivores, to Carnivore Confidential. Dougie the Butcher. Today, I'm going to do something near and dear to my heart. I know we've already done it before, corned beef with, I made short ribs into corned beef, and it was delicious. But friends of mine, thank you Steve and Linda, came across a deal on Packer briskets, and I got like a 12 or 14 pound brisket for $32. As a matter of fact, they bought me 2 of them. For the brisket, sorry, it's going to encompass over a week, because obviously I've made the brine this morning. I'm going to take you upstairs and show you what that looks like, what I put in it. But obviously the meat has to sit in the brine for 5 to 7 days, turning once a day. But I'm going to show you how to trim that brisket and get it ready for the brine. All right, so come on back for that one as well. All right, so let's get after this. But before I get started with the brisket, I want to show you something I'm very excited about. The spices in the background, I'll introduce you to those in a second. My brother from another mother, the breeder of our beautiful dogs, John and his wife Isolde Ryan, he's actually almost my twin. His birthday is the 4th of September and mine is the 4th of November. And when I was out at his place about a month ago, he brought this out and said, "What do you think of this?" And spun it around and showed me, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty impressive set of knives for the home use as well as the professional use. And then he turned around and said, "Happy birthday." So I was flabbergasted, obviously, and thank you so much, John and Isolde. I love you guys. All right. I've chosen this one and this one to show you the brisket. And how does this go in? We're going to get after that right now. Non-slip pad. Dollar store. Cutting board. Boom. All right, so the pickling spice brine that I used for, or that I made, that I'm going to use for the brisket, was simply pickling spice and a few other things that don't come in pickling spice, as well as some brown sugar and some salt. So to 4 quarts of water, I added 2 cups of kosher salt. I added 1 cup of brown sugar. I added 1 tablespoon of ginger, 1 tablespoon of juniper berries. They're hard to find. I found them online. 1 piece of star anise. I know that doesn't necessarily call for, or the recipe doesn't necessarily call for star anise, but I thought I'd give it a try because I like this. I like the smell and flavor of anise. It's a licorice kind of thing. And pickling spice. Now, pickling spice, you can either do this by hand, 1 tablespoon at a time. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath because I just came running up the stairs. You can do this 1 tablespoon at a time of all of these assorted spices, but why bother when they come in here? And then you just have to add these 3 things on your own. Okay, so 2 pickling spices. It's coriander, yellow mustard seeds, dill seed, allspice, cloves, cinnamon, black peppercorns, chili, bay leaves, and canola oil. Boom. So a tablespoon of each of those. A tablespoon of this, 1 piece of that, tablespoon of this, 2 cups of kosher salt, and 1 cup of brown sugar. Bring it to a boil. As soon as it's off boil, as soon as it boils, turn it off the heat, let it cool. It's really cold. It's cold out today. Winter's right around the corner. It's 0 degrees out there, which is like 32 for you guys in the States. Pardon me. So I've just put it outside because I don't have room for it in my fridge. So next thing to do is get after the brisket and show you how I'm going to trim that. So I'm going to get it out of the fridge and come on back. All right, here we have a whole, beautiful AAA, Canada AAA Packer brisket that weighs in at 7.305 kilograms, which is about 15 pounds. And it was $4.39 a kilo, and I paid $32.07 for this whole thing. Now I know at Costco they were selling them for $80 and up last week, so this was a real bargain. Thanks again, Linda and Steve. Really appreciate it. Also, I forgot to tell you I'm good. This is going to be 2 videos, but I'm going to take this flat off first, and then I'm going to save the decal or the point, and I'm going to make homemade hot dogs out of that for another video. So that's a heads up for that. Get a plate or 2 for all of the trim bits that I anticipate coming. And of course, as soon as we get the plates out, who shows up but Mama? Hi, Mama. Hi. Now that I've touched you, I gotta wash my hands again. Not that you're a dirty dog, but hey, I don't want you guys yelling at me in the comment section. All right. All right, let's get after this coffee. Yeah. Now, I'm going to have some purge in this bag, and I don't want it to run all over the place, so I'm going to be ready for it. All right, so here we go. Wow. Sharp knives. So they should be. That's the way it should be. Just going to take care of some of the purge before I take it out of the bag. And that is a big brisket. Bear with me 1 second, folks. Big, beautiful brisket. Now, for those of you that don't know, the brisket is this portion of the cattle on the carcass. 2 halves, of course, 1 half here and 1 half here. Comes up underneath the arm, right in there. And that big jowly bit that you see on a beef cow, that's the brisket. And it comes down to about here, and then it's cut off the chest section here. All right, I know some of you probably laugh at me for wearing a glove, but for me, it's kind of like riding my motorcycle without a helmet. I sort of don't feel safe without it. So here we go. Now there's obviously a big, huge wedge of fat right here that we're going to take off, and the brisket flat comes down through here like this, and then around through here like this. And this is what's called the point or the decal. And that's the part that I'm going to use for hot dogs. So hopefully, I'm going to try and take this off so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just going to follow this seam. And we're going to expose the decal. Need a heavier knife. That was a nice little knife, but I need a heavier one. Okay, so we're going to expose the decal, which I actually like using for corned beef because it has so much more marble than the flat does. But that's also the reason why I want to keep it today and make a separate video showing you how to make homemade hot dogs, because the fat to lean ratio on the decal is quite a bit more than 80-20, but at least I can trim the fat off of it to use it for my hot dog production. And there we have it. That is the decal, or the point. And this, my friends, is the flat. Looks just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and take this fat off of here. You can leave some fat if you like for flavor on your corned beef, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to take most of it off. And again, I'm not too concerned about leaving some meat on the fat, because like I said, I'm going to make hot dogs. And I've never made hot dogs before, so I'm kind of anxious to, kind of excited to do that. You just lay your knife flat like this, and be careful when you're cutting toward yourself. Please, 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 if you're not wearing one of these gloves, please cut away from yourself instead. Little vein right there I'm going to get rid of. All right, I would say that's pretty darn clean. All right, folks, now I'm going to step away for 1 second, clean this up a little bit, and get my brining liquid, show you the brining liquid, and then once it's cooling, I'm going to put it in my container with the lid on it, and I'm going to set it back outside to cool. So come on back for that. All right, welcome back. Please excuse the clutter. Everything in this shot is part of the shot, is part of what I'm going to show you, including the coffee. And this, of course, I've told you before, I'm doing 2 videos today. This is the pigtails I've got on the stove there for the next 2 hours, and we're going to roast them off, see how they turn out. But that's another video. Actually, I believe that video will be before this one, because this is going to take 7 days, 5 to 7 days in the brine. As you can see, I've got my brine here. I added 2 pounds of ice cubes to it to make sure it's shocked and to cool it off, and to also add extra water, which it needs. I have my sous vide vessel, which is going to serve as my brining vessel today. With the lid, and because I don't have room for it in my fridge, and my sous vide lid has a hole in it, obviously, for the sous vide, I'm going to cover it with tin foil and then put this upside down on top of it, and hopefully, I live in the country, hopefully no critters will get into it on me, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, to this, I'm going to add this. That there. Try not to splash too much. And you want to get all the good stuff off the bottom. Did I scare you, baby? Did I scare you? Did I scare you? Hey? Sorry. All right, let's put that out of the way. Now to this beautiful concoction, we're going to add our beautiful brisket. Get it right in there and make sure it's fully submerged. And so that it doesn't float at all, folks, you can add, you know, a couple of food safe dishes. Just put liquid in and make sure they're heavy. Weigh it down like so. Maybe one more. Make sure it's all sunk in there. Perfect. Okay, now, as I said before, I'm going to, it's noon on Wednesday today, so every day for the next 5 to 7 days, I'm going to just stir this up a bit, turn it over, stir it up, turn it over, and then we're going to come back and cook it off. And I wish you could taste it. Oh, no, I keep forgetting to close that. Cuts off my light. Hopefully come back, and I wish you could taste it, because I am absolutely confident that it's going to be delicious. So, let's finish this off. So to this, I'm going to add this. Two layers of tin foil. My lid, which will squeeze into that opening, correct? And then fold it under. I'm just trying to deter any, got a lot of squirrels out here, and I don't really think squirrels will be too interested in brisket. But as I said, I do live in the country, and we do have raccoons as well, so this is a bit of a roll of the dice here. And you know what? I was going to put this over top of it as well, but I'm not. I think that's might be overkill. I'll put it over top anyway. So this is going to go out and sit on my deck. It's below freezing for us. It's -1 right now. That's what, about 31 or 30 degrees for you in the States. But stick with me, folks. I'll see you. I'm not going to bore you with showing you turning this over 7 times for the next 7 days, but we will fast forward. I'll bring you back, and then we'll cook it off and give it a taste. Stay hungry, guys, and hope you're going to really enjoy this. You got to do this for yourself. We have fast forwarded a week. Now, I'm getting ready to cook this off. I didn't bother boring you with showing you flipping this once every day inside my sous vide vessel here. But as you can see, what we got going on here is a beautiful piece of corned beef. Changed color, obviously, because of the brine and the cure. What I forgot to mention to you is very, very important. Just give me 1 second here to wash up. I forgot to mention, when we put this all together a week ago, I forgot to mention putting in 1 level teaspoon of Prague powder #1 as a cure per 5 pounds of meat. So I put 2 level teaspoons of this in the brine when I was boiling it off, and I forgot to mention that to you. So it's very important. Don't forget that. Having said that, let's get back to what we're doing here. I'm setting this all up for tomorrow night's dinner. But what's going to happen is it's going to go in my slow cooker, and I'm going to lay a bed of vegetables on the bottom first. So I've got some onions. I've just cut them in half, and I've left the skins on them because these are going to impart some flavor. I'm not necessarily going to use these as the meal, but you can. But I've left the skin on them because it creates nice color. I'm turning them upside down in the bottom of my pot here. I've got some whole carrots that I'm going to, again, use as a bit of a rack for the meat. I've got some celery. I use the whole bottom stalk. Rinse it off because it's sandy, right? And I've also got some potatoes. Not too many, but enough for dinner. And I've also got some beautiful wedges of cabbage. And I'm probably only going to put 4 of these in here because we still have to get the meat in. Still have to get the meat in there. So let's push them down, get them situated. I'm going to put a smaller wedge in here for the meat. There we go. All right, so now get these guys out of the way. Get this out of the way. Quick little wipe. And to the slow cooker is going to go the brisket, obviously. I'm going to rinse it off first a little bit, not too much, but a little bit, because I'm going to use some of this brine liquid in the cooking liquid as well. So let's just rinse this off a little bit. Get the heavy bits off it. I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. And I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but where I had my little cups weighing it down is quite pink, and this is quite dark. But the whole thing, when it's cooked, because of the Prague powder, will have a beautiful pink color to it. And I'm hoping I've got enough room in my slow cooker for... Probably not. I'll probably have to take some of my veggies out. There we go. That ought to make enough room. Just want to make sure everything's in there enough so that... That's a big brisket. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, knocking stuff all over the place. Now I want to use some fresh cold water in this, but I also want to use some of this brining liquid. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it. Sorry, as usual, I'm disorganized. Strain this a little bit because I don't want all the bits in there. Here we go. And of course that fills right up real quick because there's no place for the liquid to go because the meat is taking up all the space. But that's okay too. So we want to put enough in there to cover the meat. How much do we have? Oh yeah, we're good. I'm going to put some fresh cold water in on top of that. All right, got some fresh cold water. Look out, baby. I know you're interested in all these cool smells. So we're just going to slowly add this to the top until I get coverage that I want over my brisket. And still get the lid on. I think we're looking pretty good right there. Let go some air pockets maybe. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get rid of some air pockets. All right. I'm so looking forward to this, and it's not even St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so as usual, I've made a bit of a mess here. Please forgive me. My lid is going on this, like so, and it's going to be set. I'm going to plug it in before I go to work tomorrow morning. That's the beauty of a slow cooker. I love them. But I'm going to set it up for tomorrow morning. I'm going to refrigerate this overnight, set it up tomorrow morning to come on when I leave for work on high for 4 hours. And then I'm going to get my wife, because pandemic, she's working from home. So the beauty of that is she can tend to this while she's downstairs in her home office. But yeah, so I'm going to set this up to go on high for the first 4 hours, and then she's going to turn it down to low for the next 4 hours. And we'll have this probably, well, an overall 8-hour cook. Come home tomorrow afternoon. I will bring you up to speed on this. And again, I wish you could taste it, but you can't. You're going to have to take my word for it. But I know this looks like a big mess, but it is so easy to do, folks. You got to try this for yourselves. Come back tomorrow and we'll finish this up. Thanks for hanging out, and stay hungry. Stay hungry. All right, so we're nearing completion. I wish you could smell this. Smells so good. I took a lot of the veggies that I had previously underneath the meat, and I took them out so that I could add my cabbage wedges, which that's half the cabbage. I've got the other half of the cabbage in here, plus some more potatoes. And then when it comes time to serve, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the meat out of here and just tent it under some tin foil, let it rest. I'm going to add the rest of these to warm them up. The rest of the potatoes, or I added more potatoes, and the cabbage that I put in there will be done, and then I'll bring you back for that. So stay hungry, folks. Again, I wish you could smell this. All right, welcome back. I want to button this up. It's been a long video, and I'm sure you guys are tired of it, but please stay with me, because this is the crowning moment. I've taken the meat out of the crock pot. It's been resting under tinfoil, a tinfoil tent with tea towels on top of it. I'm about to slice it. Please don't bust me for being a butcher and having an electric knife, but this works really, really well for something that is as tender as that is going to be. And I don't want to bust out my restaurant slicer because it's just such a pain in the butt to clean. So bear with me. I'm not going to bother with I mean, you know what I've done with the veggies. I've got carrots, potatoes, onions, and celery in here, and cabbage. But the real reason we're doing this is the brisket, folks. And here it is. It's hot. Ooh, very hot. Very hot. Very, very hot. Delicious brisket flat, like I showed you the other day. Cut the point off, which is also called the decal. And this is just the flat. And the reason it's kind of curled like this is because that's the way I had it in my pot, and that's the way it cooked. So I'm going to turn it over just to make it easier to cut for me. And as you can see, I'll zoom in for you, but you can see the grain is running this way. So clearly we're going to cut it this way. Here we go. Forgive the noise. I've got my microphone on, but you're going to have to deal with it. Oh my God, folks, it is a fantastically beautiful pink red color. As you can see, pull apart. Oh, so tender, smells so good. Smells so good. And I want to point out, of course, again, I forgot to point this out to you when I was making the brine, but this is oh so important. And this is the reason why it is red in color. It's a preservative, but it also keeps you safe from foodborne illness. And I'll tell you what, I mean, salmonella is an issue that you can get from improperly cooked meat, fish, poultry, whatever, or even organics that have been sprayed with contaminated water that's been fecally contaminated. But botulism is a different baby altogether, and you can get botulism from curing meat and not making sure that it's been cured properly. So please, please, please make sure you cure your meat properly. Oh. Again, smell-o-vision is not a part of this. Taste-vision is not a part of this, but you have got to take my word for it. And I'm not even going to take that piece of fat off because fat is flavor. So, so good. As you can see, my girls are here. Lila, Kita, my girls are here. And they deserve, pardon me, they deserve a treat too. Nicely. Good girl. Sit, come here, come here. Sit. Nicely, good girl. That's it, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe. I know it's been a long video, but I'll tell you what, this is a labor of love, and it is so, so, so worth it. I hope you enjoyed what you see. Please come back for more. Next Thursday, another video. And I'm Dougie the Butcher, and stay hungry, you guys. See you next week.